Nowadays, it's more common than ever for artists to cross over into a different industry, especially acting. But the thing is, not everyone is able to make that transition and be good at it, failing miserably. Here are some rappers that were able to make a smooth transition into acting. Ice Cube. This man went Hollywood on us. Shit, I would too. He went Hollywood and never looked back. While he was still in the prime of his career, he played his first acting role on Boys in the Hood in 1991. With the movie being a California-based theme, Ice Cube was a supernatural fit. It's also iconic because the movie was based off Eazy-E's song, Boys in the Hood, which Ice Cube also wrote. He appeared in more movies after that, like CB4 and Higher Learning. But it wasn't until the movie Friday that he solidified himself as a true actor. He wrote, produced, and acted in the movie, which ended up being a classic and huge success. That got his feet wet and was the start to him producing and writing more movies. With some movies being very successful, he was able to make spin-offs, such as the Friday series 1, 2, and 3, the Barbershop series 1, 2, and 3 with Beauty Shop, Ride Along 1 and 2, and Are We There Yet 1 and 2. Ice Cube had figured it out and now made himself a household name, but not as a rapper, as an actor. His catalog is pretty long with a lot of classics, like Players Club, All About the Benjamins, and so much more. Ice Cube is a quadruple threat for acting because he directs, produces, screenwrites, and stars in some of them. Man, he's a hip-hop national treasure for sure. Will Smith. I mean, come on, it's a no-brainer. He's one of the poster child and blueprint of rapper turned actor. But it was obviously the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that helped his career skyrocket. For him, it was early in his career when people started seeing him more as an actor first and music as a second hobby, because he would go on a stretch of movies that he acted in. He would star in Bad Boys, Independence Day, Men in Black, man, and he was only getting started. One of the big roles he played early was in Ali, and that's when people took him very seriously, instead of the funny or dramatic roles. One of his controversial roles was when he played a gay man in 6 Degrees of Separation, and there was a scene he had to kiss a man, but he said he couldn't do it and wasn't emotionally stable enough to commit to that part. But he says now he regrets it and wish he had done it. But he listened to Denzel Washington's advice, which was, don't be kissing no man, as Denzel feared it could hurt his career. So instead of a real kiss, they faked it and filmed it from the back of his head instead of a close-up on the lips. But fast forward to today, with all the allegations around his name, I'm sure people would have easily believed all those rumors. I mean, come on. But still at the top of his game, he's been producing and still doing movies, and every now and then bust out a freestyle, but he knows where his main focus is, acting. Queen Latifah. Who you calling a bitch? Yo, straight out the gate, she let you know what time she was on. With albums such as Black Rain, All Hail the Queen, and Nature of a Sister, her agenda was to uplift. Even in her first movie role that I saw her in, which was House Party 2, she played an Afro pro-black student, but it was her living single role as Khadijah that made her a household name. Because this was the era of primetime black shows, and this was one of the hot ones. It was after she did Set It Off she became a Hollywood hit, because this was a classic movie and she played an iconic role that people still imitate. After solidifying herself as a serious actress, she expanded her range and was doing movies such as Brown Sugar, Beauty Shop, Girls Trip, and so much more. She still keeps herself very busy as she stars in the series The Equalizer, so she always stays ready for her next big role. I see you, Queen. Okay, I see you. Bow Wow. Talk about a kid, now man, who was destined to be in entertainment. He checks every mark. I mean, after being discovered by Snoop at 6 years old rapping on stage to making hit songs with Jermaine Dupri, his career went on a steady incline. And I can't lie, Bow Wow was dropping some good songs once he started to mature into himself, like Let Me Hold You, Like You, Fresh As I'm Is, Out of My System. Oh man, Bow Wow got some joints under his belt, and at such a young age being so good, it was bound that he eventually did acting. His first big movie, Like Mike, was big, especially for us around his age. He was one of the first kids we saw doing this, and most of the movies that he acted in has been good choices so far because they all match his personality. Movies like Roll Bounce, Lottery Ticket, Johnson Family Vacation, and All About the Benjamins, among so much more. With him, I actually wish he did more acting, but since he's become a grown man, he really doesn't do much acting and just, here and there. Mainly he just does appearances on shows, but he's still making his money, so hey. Ludacris, one of the most underrated rappers ever, especially from the South. He came in the game and made his name early. His first major song, What's Your Fantasy, blew up and was an instant classic. He followed up by dropping more hit songs like Southern Hospitality, Area Codes, and especially Move, Bitch. Yo, Luda's music career was out of here. And with his music videos, he was always very animated in them and acting very silly, having a lot of fun. You can tell that he really loved to act these scenes out, which made perfect for the big screen. He made a lot of appearances in shows, but his first big role was on Too Fast, Too Furious in 2002. And man, that turned out to be a big blessing because they're on the 10th Fast and Furious, which just came out last year. And he says, why would I stop being in the Fast and Furious when it makes $1 billion per movie? Sheesh.
And I also hear people say all the time, why do y'all keep doing these movies? That's the dumbest fucking question in the world. I'm gonna tell you why. Because no matter what industry we in, podcast, music, movies, it's all about a bottom line. It's all about how much you spend compared to how much you make. We're making billions of fucking dollars.
That's why, every time.
Bro, and I'm saying that like, I'm just giving you my heart. I'm not trying to brag or nothing. Right. So when you say, why do y'all keep...
That's why.
When some of y'all keep saying, why the fuck do y'all keep shooting these movies? Let me tell you why. Because if you spend $200 million and you make $1 billion, who the fuck is you gonna tell to stop shooting movies when you making $800 million?
Every time.
How? I need people to stop asking that question. Even if you don't like it.
Right.
Even if you don't want to watch it.
That's okay.
Stop asking that goddamn question. That is the answer. Because there is a person who is a CEO and a whole bunch of executives that work at an office and they say we just made $800 million.
God damn it.
We're going to make another one.
That's why it's part 2.
Period.
Man, at that point, I'ma retire with the franchise, shit. But he's had other good roles in movies, such as Crash, Hustle and Flow, and others. And now, he's doing more behind the scenes as well. Ludacris released a Netflix series show called Karma's World in 2021 with his oldest daughter, Karma Bridges, who was the inspiration behind it. The show was even nominated at the 53rd NAACP Image Awards and the first Children's and Family Emmy Awards. Ludacris has a lot of range when it comes to acting and making movies and even now kids shows. It's only going to expand from here. Donald Glover. When I first got introduced to him, it was as Childish Gambino on Dat Piff. His album Camp was out, but it wasn't until his royalty mixtape I really paid attention, with songs like Shoulda Known and Silk Pillow being my favorites. His musical style was different and very refreshing, but his first love always seemed to be in acting. While he was in school attending New York University for dramatic writing, he was hired to write for the NBC show 30 Rock, which he did for a while before landing an acting role on another NBC show, Community, for about 5 years. Following that, he would later act and write in another big show on FX, Atlanta, which ended up being a very big success and won awards. It won some Golden Globe Awards and Primetime Emmy Awards, officially stamping him in the world of acting and directing. He also starred in other big films such as Spider-Man and the remake of the classic Lion King, playing the voice of Simba. As of now, he stays busy and starring in a new TV series called Mr. and Mrs. Smith. But one thing about him is that he's good at making shows, so I can't wait for the next big show from him. These folks are very talented and shows why some of them belong in Hollywood acting. Whether being on the big screen or working behind the camera, they're applying their musical gifts and thinking onto the big screen as more and more continue this venture. Anyways, thanks for watching. It's your boy Top with Top This Hip Hop. See you guys on the next one.